Maxx Crosby, locked in forever. That's not just some podcast fluff, people. Something massive is brewing between Vegas and Chicago, and it's going to change everything. Listen, we're talking about a defensive revolution in the Windy City, or the biggest gamble in Ryan Poles' entire career. This isn't just a trade, it's a make or break moment that could lead to a total collapse of our future draft capital, or it's the move that finally brings a ring back to Chicago. We're in a crisis of identity right now, and how we handle this is going to define the next decade of Bears football. I'm breaking down the daily roster updates and the absolute cap hell we're in first, because we got to see how the money works before we can dream big. But you need to stay till the end, because that Crosby trade talk, I've got a specific, shocking revelation about how this deal is actually being built behind the scenes, specifically the direct signal Crosby gave to Caleb that no one is talking about yet. But first, guys, can I ask for a quick favor? If you're loving these deep dives and you want the raw truth about our Bears, hit that like button right now. It really helps the channel stay alive and keeps us fighting the good fight. Thanks for the support. It means the world. Trust me on this one. The math is ugly. Heading into the new league year in mid-March, the Bears are staring at a cap hole of about $10 million. That's not just some abstract number. That's cap hell. It's the lens we have to use for every single move from now until free agency kicks off. Every single dollar we shave off is a big deal. The team literally can't afford to keep guys who aren't absolutely essential when we need to be out there making big moves. I'm telling you, it's wild, but the first move is already done. On Thursday, the club officially cut ties with veteran linebacker and special teams guy Amen Ogbongbemiga. On paper, it was a total no-brainer. Trim the fat before the new year starts. Ari Mayrov over at the 33rd team was the one who broke the news, and he pointed out that this move gives us about $2 million in breathing room right away. Amen's base salary for 2026 was supposed to be $2.445 million. By letting him go, the Bears take a small $375,000 hit in dead money, but they clear $2.07 million off the books. It's a small step, but it shows the plan is in motion. I like the men's hustle, but let's be real. He's a special teams body. You don't pay $2 million for a guy who only hits the field on punts when you're broke. Good move. See you later. Look, this guy came out of Oklahoma State as an undrafted free agent and spent 3 years with the Chargers before he landed in Chicago for the 2024 season. He was a beast on special teams that first year, playing in all 17 games. But in 2025, the injury bug got him. He did have that one massive 14-tackle explosion against Pittsburgh back in November, showing he has the juice when he stepped up to play more defense in weeks 12 and 13 when Tremaine Edmunds, TJ Edwards, and Noah Sewell were all banged up. But that wasn't enough to save him. Can you believe this? The Amen move was just the appetizer. The real meat is still on the table. There are two names that are making everyone nervous: Tremaine Edmunds and Kmet. If the Bears cut Edmunds, they save exactly $15 million. That's huge. We signed him to that massive 4-year, $72 million deal back in 2023 because he was a stud in Buffalo with 2 Pro Bowls. But let's be honest, his play in Chicago hasn't lived up to the paycheck. Then you've got Kmet. This one is complicated. He got a 4-year, $50 million extension in July 2023 and immediately went out and put up 719 yards. But since then, it's been a slide. He dropped to 474 yards in 2024 and then a measly 347 yards in 2025. A big reason for that is the rookie Colston Loveland. He came in and owned the field with 713 receiving yards in his first year. If the plan is to stop using so many 2 tight end sets, or if they think they can find a cheaper guy in the draft, Kmet could be a trade target or a cap casualty before the summer even hits. Look, I love Kmet's heart, but the numbers don't lie. You can't pay a guy that much money to be the second best tight end on the roster. If Loveland is the man, then Kmet is expensive baggage. Trade him for a pick and move on. I'm telling you right now, the linebacker room is going to look totally different soon. Everyone is saying Tremaine Edmunds is probably gone before the 2026 season starts. The math is just too loud to ignore. He's got a cap hit of over $17 million, according to Over the Cap. If we cut him, we get $14 million back. Sure, he had 112 tackles and 4 picks in 2025, but $17 million for a guy who isn't changing the game every week? No way. So who do we get? There's a name from Kansas City that's getting a lot of hype, Leo Chenal. He was a third-round pick out of Wisconsin in 2022 and has spent 4 years with the Chiefs. He's played 65 games and started 44 of them. In 2025, he finally played more than half the defensive snaps. The guy is 6'3", 250 pounds, and he's a physical freak. His stats last year, 58 tackles and 2 sacks, show he's ready for a bigger role. Chenal is a hammer. He's exactly the kind of stadium talk player we need. Gritty, tough, and doesn't cost an arm and a leg. If we can get that production for a fraction of Edmunds' price, you do that deal every day. The analytics tell a crazy story here too. When QBs threw at Chenal last year, they had a 98.8 rating. That sounds high, but look at the PFF grades. He was 11th out of 88 linebackers in coverage, 72.6 grade, and 22nd in run defense, 76.2 grade. Compare that to Edmunds. Edmunds allowed an 87.2 rating, but his PFF coverage grade was a trash 52.1. Chenal actually outplayed Edmunds in coverage last year. And get this, market projections are putting Chenal at roughly $6 million a year. Compare that to Edmunds' $17 million cap hit. It's a no-brainer. You sign Chenal, save $10 million, and use that cash to fix the safety spot or the offensive line.
Now, here is where things get really wild. There's a fresh report that says our offseason goals might be way bigger than just some linebacker swaps. It all started with a vibe between two superstars. Maxx Crosby, the monster edge rusher for the Raiders, had Caleb Williams on his podcast. At the end, Crosby didn't just give a compliment, he went off. He told Caleb his ceiling is untapped, called him a different level player, and said, "You need me? Hit me at any time. We're locked in forever." He didn't ask for a trade, but when a guy like Crosby says we're locked in forever to our franchise QB, the signal is loud and clear. This is the revelation, people. Crosby isn't just being nice. He's giving a direct green light to our franchise QB, basically telling Caleb, get your GM on the phone and come get me. Adding Crosby next to Montez Sweat? That would be terrifying. Coordinators would have to throw their whole playbook in the trash because you can't double team both of them. It's the kind of win-now move that turns a playoff team into a Super Bowl favorite. Can you imagine Crosby and Sweat on the edges? That's not just a defense, that's a nightmare. I don't care what it costs. If you have a chance to get a locked-in Maxx Crosby, you pull the trigger. But look, it's not easy. Crosby has a huge contract and the Raiders would want a king's ransom. Bill Barnwell over at ESPN put out a trade idea that's got everyone talking. The Bears send DJ Moore and a 2026 first-round pick to Vegas for Crosby and a 2027 fifth-rounder. The Raiders would want a first-round pick at minimum for a guy like that. We have the 25th overall pick, which is exactly the kind of currency Ryan Poles likes to use. The money part is a total mess, though. DJ Moore's deal has a lot of guarantees. $23.5 million for 2026 and another $15.5 million that vests in March. If a team trades for him, they're taking on almost $49 million over 2 years. But for Chicago, swapping Moore's massive bill for Crosby's would let us reallocate our money to the defense. It helps the Raiders too, because they're probably drafting a kid like Francisco Mendoza, and he's going to need a veteran like Moore to throw to. Giving up DJ Moore hurts, I'm not going to lie. But look, we have receivers. We don't have another Maxx Crosby. If losing DJ Moore means our defense becomes the best in the league, I'm packing his bags for him. Sorry, DJ, it's just business. Look, there are risks. Crosby is coming off an injury, and we've been burned on edge rushers before. Giving up a first-round pick is a lot, but with Caleb Williams still on his rookie deal, this is the winning window. We have the money to spend on veterans right now without killing the future. If Ryan Poles thinks Crosby is the piece that makes us the kings of the North, he's got to be aggressive. This is the kind of decisive action that changes a franchise forever.
What do you guys think? Are you down to trade DJ Moore for Crosby? Do you want Leo Chenal in the middle? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next report. I'm Dustin Davis, and I'll catch you in the next one.